Wonderful. Good morning, everybody. Hope you guys are all doing well. Good morning, Marziti. Morning, Ozzy. What's up, guys?
Good morning.
Morning, Victoria. Concentrator. What's up? What's up? Let's see. What do we have today? We had looks like a little news reaction here, so we could check to see. It was just 8:30. It looks like we had PPI. So PPI, we're getting a small reaction here. A lot of times PPI won't move us as strong as something else like a CPI, or even sometimes an NFP moves us very strong. So right now we got a bit of a small reaction. Looking to see we have an upside target on ES at the moment of 53.50, downside of potentially 29.90. I'm sorry, 52.95. Excuse me. Apparently my brain is still waking up. So let's take a quick look at the ES. We'll take a look at the ES first, see if we have any zones or areas of interest. Right off the bat, I see this zone. I'm going to make it blue, and we're going to lighten it up. And the reason I want to keep that is because it did work pretty well. We see it once we broke below it. It worked as resistance, resistance, resistance. I wanted to see it work as support. It failed to work as support. We do see this wick right here, which means we pushed higher, came back, and then pushed higher again, which does mean at this point we use it as support on a lower time frame. So we could keep an eye on it. I just don't want to get married to a zone like that, because that's a zone that's more of a 50-50 and not a zone that we have a lot more confidence in. So let's go with the daily really quickly, see what's going on, and see why, right? What's going on and why? Well, we had a big breakout right here. Why did we have this breakout? Well, we had this breakout because after Trump started the tariffs, he paused the tariffs. Okay. Big market manipulation move right there by Mr. President. Great, fantastic. Love to see it. Did it have follow through? Well, yesterday, no. We broke previous day high overnight, but then we failed back lower, and we even tried to close back within this range. So the question would be, do we find some good buying volume today and try to push higher? I really want to watch that previous day high if we're able to get above it, this 55.28. I would want to see if 56.72 could work as a potential target. That would be about a 140 point move on the ES, so that's what I would look for if we get good volume today, and markets are really looking to reverse. Now, I would be looking to exit around 56.72 because this is a daily supply zone, and the last time we were in a daily supply zone was over here. We came into it with some failed buying pressure. So look, we rallied out of this range, but when we look down on our volume, this rally had insignificant volume. The volume was failing, it was fading. Therefore, this reversal failed. So if this reversal, this huge one we have right here that was nearly 10%, it did have it had an okay volume spike, right? In relative to this volume right here, it had okay volume. It just needs to have that follow through, right? We need follow through when it comes to buying pressure to show that price is being accepted at higher levels and that we are looking to reverse. It'll also depend on where equities are trading too. We could do a quick breakdown, guys, on equities on the higher time frame. So let's pull up this bottom chart. I'm going to turn off my previous day high and low indicator, and I want to just start on the daily time frame. Let me just edit the VWAP. So if you go to your settings on TradingView, you go to visibility, you could turn off hourly, daily, and all this other stuff for like VWAP or something like that. And you could turn it on so it's only like 12 minutes, right? So for me, I don't use a 12-minute chart. It would be on the 5-minute then. So this would be on the 5-minute or less I would see VWAP. And that's all I really need. We don't need VWAP for higher than that in my opinion. Now let's look at the daily here on AVGO. See, AVGO also had a pretty strong push here, had okay volume. It didn't break any major pivot highs. So on something like AVGO, I want to mark those major highs and lows so I could be aware of where these swings are. We're going to add an alert to this. We're going to add text to this so we're aware of it. This is a swing high, so we call this a lower high. And we will make it like red or something. And we will put that right in the middle. No, right and middle. Perfect. So that's a lower high. So if we're able to break this, we could look for that trend to continue higher on something like AVGO. Now I want to check the 6 stocks that I watch, right? Apple, Microsoft, Meta, Nvidia, and so on. So let's take a quick look at Apple. See, Apple came into these key levels down here. Very strong range over here. Now I want to mark out this major low down here on Apple, 164. That's insane. I remember talking to some people over here on Apple, and I was like, it looks pretty good if we get back above 180. And it did well. It did well. Now the question is at 160, 170 range a good buy again? Gotta think in the long term, guys. Right now, Apple pulled back from its all-time highs over 34%. If we're looking back at the bullish side of things, so 34% to the downside, but if we were to buy down here, that would be where we're looking at 53, 54% return. So it's always a higher increase percentage to the buy side it is to the downside when we're looking at pullbacks and coming back in the market on stocks usually. When it comes to things like ES and NQ, it's usually not as big of a difference, but Apple was good. I think Nvidia we were looking at. Let's take a look at Nvidia. That was another one. Wrong one. YouTube guys, what's going on? Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. Look at that. Beautiful. I said that's crazy. I was looking for this big candle here on Nvidia. I said, guys, I was looking for Nvidia to make its way back within this range. See if this was a breakout, a fake out to the downside. And here we go. We're trying to continue higher. Nvidia close to breaking its previous day high. I really want to mark that out. Previous day high. We need to be above that. I'm going to add my alert. If you click a drawing, guys, and it brings up the settings, there's a little clock with the plus. You could do that, and that'll be a alert, quick alert, PDH, create, boom. Let's take a quick look and see. So this is Nvidia, really looking for buyers to continue. Volume was pretty strong on the bullish candles over here. We see that the volume was picking up, so that is good. Back to that percentage thing I was going over. We are currently down. Use our measurement tool. From the high to the low, it went 43%, 43.4. And then if you went from the low to the high, looking at 76%. So again, you're almost doubling the ROI. You're looking at 76% ROI. Again, of course, that's if you bought the bottom. We're never really going to buy a bottom, but that is that percent return we're looking at. Even over here, if we were looking at a run like this, 60%, 50%. This is great returns on investments, especially for stocks. We got to be careful. Would be buying at the lows. Got to be careful. Got to look for this pullback here. You know, it really is possible. I'm thinking, looking at all the equities, I'm feeling a bit more towards the buy side, that maybe this is where we start to pull back. Even look at this. Microsoft right here is above its previous day high. That's pretty huge. I want to mark that and watch that. I'm feeling bullish today. We're gonna see though. We'll break down the ES and NQ as well. Make sure that those line up as well. Really gonna have to see if we have follow through and good levels to work off of. Now this is the daily on Microsoft. Bit of the same situation though. We ran into some resistance yesterday, so we can look to see how we want to trade off of that. Check Tesla. If you guys want to go over anything, please let me know. Then we'll get back to the futures. We'll look for some NQ. GC, ES, and OPPA, you know me. YouTube, hit that like button. What's going on? What's going on, Random? How's it going? What's that?
Good, man. Good. You?
Doing good, dude. What's that? Happy Friday. Let's see.
What's that? It's like the best.
It is. Nothing beats it, man. Alright, let's see. Yeah, daily on Tesla. Look how range bound we are between these blue zones I have. Now, you guys know I don't really trade Tesla that much. Don't really chart it that much. And yet these zones that I've had on my chart for so long are still holding value, are still holding true, right? Markets historically will respect the same levels and zones. So we have to watch those. This would be the low range, the 240 to about 220. This would be the high range, about 285. It's almost 300. So bit of the same situation. If we could break that previous day high, we're going to be looking for bulls today, especially on the NASDAQ. So let's do this previous day high. And now we can start looking at our ESNQ and all that fun stuff. Let's see. So ES. What I wanted to see on the ES was a break of the previous day low and then a reversal. Because I felt if we could break that previous day low, a lot of people are going to be taking those short positions. Meanwhile, I have this broken supply zone here on the 45-minute time frame, right? And what happened was we used this supply zone as supply right here, and then we broke it with an imbalance candle, right? So at this point, when the market shot up, we were not strong enough to fill this imbalance. So up until right here, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. We're going to use the box. That way we could drag it out. We see that we started to fill it, so we filled it up to here, but we still have this much to fill, in my opinion, right? Now, that doesn't mean we have to go through the whole thing, because guess what? Last time we were in this box, we found some support and pushed higher. So maybe what I'm doing then is I'm using the box, the rest of this box, as an area of support. So where others are looking for a breakout to the downside to short, I'm looking for this break and fake out to reverse back to the upside, because I know that there might be a lot of people looking for shorts. So it's really going to depend on how markets react down here. Where's our current range? Look at the range. This is our 45-minute, but this is our weekly volume profile. And today is Friday. I'm going to make sure it is on, in fact, the weekly. And it's... No, what is that? March 20... That's March 30th. I think that is 2 weeks. So let's bring it closer. Oops. Sorry. Dropped the water, scared the dog. Now the cows won't come home. No. Alright, let's see. So there we go. There's our range. We're currently trying to trade above it. Okay, so the range itself on this week is not giving me too much information. Oh, I scared the dog. I feel so bad. Alright, let's see. ES is starting to push higher towards this 53.50. I want to see how we react to it on Bookmap. Now, it is still pre-market, guys. So we want to be patient on that. It's 8:42. So I usually won't take any trades on ES or NQ. Let's take a look at crude oil and gold. Alright, let's see. So crude oil had a pretty strong spike here. Volume was picking up, right? So we started to base out. We're trying to trade back above that $60 price level. Huge price level, $60 even. Let's mark out that previous day high and low. Make sure we know which levels we're looking at. And what has the market been doing lately? Okay, well, I see a lot of previous day lows broken and closing red. Okay, so then if we break this previous day low, I'm going to be a bit more bearish on crude oil. I'm going to be a bit more stronger in my bias that we might continue lower. That would be if we could break and continue. We do want to see if we have any supply or demand here as well. Let's see. Start on our 6 hour. Really looking to see if we have, so this daily demand zone, we went over it yesterday, super strong level, major level on crude oil. So I'm going to delete the levels that are around it. That way it sort of cleans up the charts a little bit. We don't want too much on our charts that we're starting to second guess what we're even reading. If it's our own charts, guys, we want to make sure they're looking clean and we're easy and able to read them. So I have some more levels to the upside than I do on the downside at the moment on crude. I do remember, however, I think it was yesterday's pre-market or the other day, how I mentioned we had this 3-hour demand zone. Yeah, it was yesterday. And I wanted to see, I said it was too far for us to hit yesterday, because at that point we were all the way up here. We would have had to move over $3.50 on crude oil to the downside and then reverse back to the upside. So I didn't think that was possible. Now, same situation. We'd have to go a full 250, so that's not as bad, and then reverse. Kimberly Johnson on YouTube, what's going on? Kim asked about what about the SPY. So Kim, the SPY is the ES. So whenever we're looking at or want to trade the SPY, Check out the ES chart. So the ES are the SPY futures. So the futures market is open 23 hours a day. Therefore, there's usually some type of liquidity or market movement. As we see here on the ES chart, it just goes from that 3:55, which would be the 4 p.m., and then goes right to the next day, which is the market open. It doesn't really have that extra extended hours trading, and when you turn it on, it's very choppy. You can't really read it. So what we do is we look at the ES, which is the SPY, so they trade together, and you could just trade SPY contracts along with that. So when I'm looking for ES or NQ zones, the ES is the SPY, the NQ is the QQQ or the NASDAQ. So if I was looking for this zone down here on ES, this is from Wednesday. Let's see if we could mark that up. Find it on the SPY. Wednesday it was before the consolidation on Wednesday. So let's go to the SPY right before the consolidation. So it's going to be right over here. The zone I'm looking for on the SPY would be around 502 to 509. So realistically, what I'm looking for is a break below the 509.32 and then a reversal after we break that. So it'd be like a liquidity sweep. So that would be sell side liquidity. Would look for us to sweep that. A lot of people to have a bearish bias on the break and then reverse back higher. Good morning, everybody. Guys, YouTube, hit that like button. Discord, hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are ready for some trades today. I'm sort of thinking crude oil might not be a trade setup. Feeling a bit lower probability and sort of same setup as ES, if anything. We have the same sort of imbalance that formed that day on the news of the tariff pause. We came into it a little bit, and now we have that previous day low as a potential liquidity sweep. However, on oil, it has been much, much stronger to the downside, in my opinion. I know ES has also been very bearish. The SPY has also been very bearish. But crude just really, breaking below $60, even below 59. It was below 57 the other day. First time in a long time. Let's see, when was the last time we were below 57? 2 years ago? Over 2 years ago. That's crazy. 2 years ago we were at these levels. Now we're back at them on crude oil. Crude oil very much ranges. Yep, absolutely, Kim, you got it. Crude oil loves to range, so be careful on it. That's why I'd say look for those previous day lows to be taken out and continue. It loves to range. It loves to trend. These are easily trending markets too, crude oil and gold. When we're able to spot those trends, we want to take advantage of them. Let's take a quick look on... Let's see. Yeah, half a second. Alrighty. Hey, good morning, Ken. Alright, so look at this, guys. Gold, all-time highs. That's huge. I didn't even realize how gold closed yesterday. It closed near those all-time highs in the supply zone, blew right through it. So something I might look for today is if we could possibly pull back on gold, sweep this low right here. This is an internal liquidity level, right? So ISSL, internal sell side liquidity, because if we're looking at like a higher time frame or something, I guess we sort of have it on the hourly, but that wouldn't be considered like a higher time frame. We have a 4-hour basing right here, which could also try to hold up. So we're going to mark that out just as a blue rectangle so we can keep an eye and see how price reacts. If we want to dip into it and find some buying pressure and continue. Or if we want to dip into it with strength, I won't look for buying pressure in the zone, and I'll look for a sweep of this level and a retest of this daily supply zone to work as a demand zone. Alrighty. Take a look at Bookmap 2. CES is starting to sell off over here. Morning, Victoria. Morning, Jack of all trades. Garrett, what's up? What's up? Let's see. I'm looking to see on the ES right now. I do want to see if we have any supply zones that we might look for a reversal at, right? To sell or short. I see this pivot right here, very small zone, but we know that even the smallest zones nowadays are 20 points. So not even that small of a zone. We'll keep an eye on it. We're going to mark it out as our S15 minute. And I'm going to watch this as my supply zone for some sellers to step into the market around 54.67. 54.67. Very high up there. Look at that. We do have 54.50. Very strong level on Bookmap up here. 284 lots. I wonder if market participants are looking for us to move higher today. So we'll see. We do have some levels. We have 52.75 to the downside. 52.75. Right over here. Right near this key level. So let's take a look. Again, same deal. I'm looking for 30-minute, 15-minute. Looking to see if we have any supply or demand zones. I see a small 30-minute demand zone right here we can mark out, right? Now, even if it wasn't a demand zone, it would at least be an order block. It's our basing before we ended up moving higher. Now we would look to retest this zone and hold as support. Ideally, we would want to see us take this high out before we pulled back and held as support. So right now, this is creating a lower probability. We do not want to take this trade. So what we would want to see, if you guys need help sort of visualizing that, that would look like this. So we would look for us to continue higher, create our basing, right? So we have our, oh wait, even better. Oh, rip. Alright, one more time. So we'd want to go, create our order block down here, and then we would want to break it and create a higher high, and then come down and create our higher low, and then hold and continue. But because we failed to hold that, that creates a lower high, which now makes this a lower probability zone. So this might end up turning into even an breaker block where we retest it, and then continue lower for this next target. So there are a few things we could be looking for right now, guys, on the ES or the SPY if you're trading SPY. Market opens in about 40 minutes or so. It is 8:53 right now. We do have some time. Let's see. We have gold all-time highs. We'll call it PDH, and then we'll just change the text, ATH. That's crazy, man. That is crazy. So sort of same setup right here on gold as well, right? So sort of the inverse, though. So ES, we have our demand zone, and we're looking to hold it. And gold, we have our supply zone. This could be a supply zone. We have our basing at a high. We have our drop, but we don't have the follow-through, right? And we don't break the low. Therefore, this becomes lower probability and can be used as a breaker block once we get above it. So a few things we're looking for today. That's great. Market's given us a couple setups to keep an eye on. That means if one doesn't work, that's okay. We can be patient, wait for the next one. Let's see. We'll look for a break through this and then a retest of it, right? So we're not taking the breakout. We're not taking it once it enters that zone. We're just being patient and waiting to see if this setup prevails. Let's check out oil real quick one more time on that lower time frame. 30-minute, maybe 45. We have the 3-hour demand here, and that's sort of the only zone I have to work with on oil. So that makes me feel like a little more on the bear side, that we might want to try to break that lower, that previous day low, 58.76, and make our way lower, 57.02. So we could be looking for some shorts on oil today, but we'll see. We'll see if anybody tweets about anything, and we'll see if any news comes out, if anything changes, if there's good volume or not. Let's see, crude oil. 59.60 to the downside. That's just right over here. No other downside targets really on oil at the moment. But remember, guys, just because there are no downside targets or upside targets right now doesn't mean that they can't form later. They could form in 2 seconds. They could form in 2 hours. It's just a matter of being patient and keeping an eye on it, right? Keep checking, making sure, keeping an eye on our volume tools, keeping an eye on our time frame analysis. And what I mean by that is making sure that we're going through different time frames. I was going over with one of my students, right? A different time, like a chart with different time frames on it. Now, usually you guys see me with the one chart, and I'll have either the ES up here, and I'll scroll through the different time frames real quick, and I'll have maybe the ES, the NQ, and the VIX and the weighted index, and I'll scroll through the different time frames like that. But what you can do, depending on how many monitors you have and how you like your setup, you could also set it up where you have different time frames on different charts. So this is all the same symbol. So right now this is the ES on the 15 minute, the 30 minute, and the hourly. So that way, let's say you could even make this one like the 5 minute. Not okay, we're back and rolling. Maybe. That was wild. You guys there? Discord, you guys there?
Yeah.
That was crazy. My thing crashed for a second. Alright. Anyways, hopefully we're back up and running.
You are.
Okay, cool. I gotta make sure YouTube's up and running.
Well,
Scrolling
what's
and
interesting
rolling
about
too.
your stream is that in your morning pre-market stream, you have a tendency to cut out for a few seconds every now and then. Doesn't seem to happen after in your 9:30 stream, but your 8:30, you'll have one or two times where you'll just quit talking. I mean, you're talking, but we don't hear you.
Yeah.
Um,
Huh.
so I'm not sure what it is about the 8:30 to 9:30 slot with you and your mic, but
Alright. So anyways, time frame analysis, different charts and stuff, right? So you could set it up. Here's how you set that up, guys. You would need at least TradingView Premium is the max version. You could have the Essential that gives you two charts per tab. You could do Plus, which gives you 4 charts per tab. Premium, 8 charts per tab. So right now, if you have 3 charts per tab, you could do 5 minute, 30 minute, 1 hour, or 5 minute, 15 minute, and like 1 hour or something like that. That way, if you're looking at the 5 minute chart and you're thinking, oh, I should be going bullish here, and you look over to your higher time frame and it's confirming one direction or the other, then you could say, okay, well maybe my 5 minute bias right now doesn't line up with my higher time frame. I want to be more patient. Or even on the other hand, my lower time frame is really lining up with my higher time frame. I might be able to get a top tick or buy or sell the highs, buy the low type of situation. So it is definitely very important to keep an eye on your time frames, and if you're not able to sort of swap in and out like I am, then it's definitely important to keep a screen up where you have different time frame charts. Even if you have one screen like I have where it's the ES and NQ on like the 5 minute, and then you do another chart where it's the ES on the 15 and higher, right? Because again, if you do the ES here on the 15, the ES here on the 30, the ES there on the hourly, if you have it linked up, so it's the symbol, you could then go to the NASDAQ. And when you change it to the NQ on one chart, it changes it to the NQ on every chart. So again, you're able to sort of go through really quickly, different time frames, keep an eye on those. Very important because the higher time frames really paint the bigger picture for us, especially as day traders. If you guys wanted, I was going to say if you guys wanted, I would keep this chart up for you guys. But I don't know if you guys want to keep an eye on the higher time frame. I think you guys would prefer the ES and NQ here and there. Maybe let's get ES back on bookmap here so we can see the order flow of buying and selling. Hey, good morning, guys. What's going on? What's up? What's up? What's that? Let's see. Dude, I can't, man. It's just too funny. I like this 52.95 level, this pivot low over here on the ES. Looks like I had a demand zone I tried to draw out there. When I say tried, I mean obviously I drew it out right. It was the 30-minute demand we were looking at before. We're just going to mark that out. So we remember, because obviously if we go over different charts, we go over crude, we go over gold, we go over some equities, I teach this and that. I want to mark out what I'm looking at so I don't forget about it. Forget about it. So let's mark those out. The high and low of the zone. That way I get an alert when we enter the zone, and I get an alert when we break the zone. Now remember, guys, we did not break this high before coming back to this low. So right now, if we come to the low first, this is a lower probability. If we come take out the high and then come test it for support, that is higher probability. Same situation on gold, but in the opposite direction. We created our order block here to the downside, bearish order block. I made it green, however, because we didn't take out a low before we reversed back to it. Now, some people might argue that, oh, well, gold took out this low right here, but that's a very arguable low. We have to look at the major lows. This is our major low right here. Did not take out a low. It did not create an order block, reject, come back, and push lower. It failed. It didn't have their continuation. So we're waiting. We're waiting on this. Let's see. And crude oil, probably a lost cause today. Depending on market volatility. Let's check our economic calendar. Make sure we don't have any other news. Michigan consumer sentiment. 10 o'clock. Very important, guys. In 1 hour, we have Michigan consumer sentiment. Make sure you are not in any trades that will launch, pop, or drop the market. So be careful. Definitely be out of anything. And it'll depend. We'll see how market wants to react going into Michigan consumer. Do we get a trend beforehand? Do we get some type of reversal or push lower? Or are we range bound beforehand and they're waiting for the market sentiment to come in? Hey, good morning, Johnny. What's up? Good morning, good morning. What's that? Let's see. So right now, 15-minute time frame. I'm not seeing any supply or demand here, right? Anything of value on the 15. I'm seeing on the 30 just this potential demand, potential order block, whatever the case may be. Let's see. I suppose we can mark this as our supply zone out here on our 30-minute because we do have our basing, we have our sell-off, and then we even see pre-market, we started to react to it, right? So market tested it, we ended up pushing lower, so we could see if that wants to work as a level of supply. And again, guys, same situation. If we end up breaking the supply zone, what I might end up doing is I might look for it to work as demand. So we're going to look to see if we can maybe take it out. We'll go lower, we'll go higher, we'll reject it, we'll break it. And if we could break it, we'll retest and look for longs to see if we do want to continue higher on some type of bull trend. If, however, we're squeezing, we want to continue lower from there, there's a good chance we do continue lower. And we have to be ready for that too, guys. Got to be ready for anything in the market. We might not even come back to this zone, right? We might just break through this zone right here and then look for the retest of this zone to go short and look for something like that. You know, something like this. So we'll see. We got both setups. We're prepared. We have our zones to the upside, our zones to the downside. Just got to be patient at the moment. 15-minute. Let's check the daily one more time here on ES. Oh yeah, let's check the NASDAQ. NASDAQ. Let's see. Beautiful. NAS ended up returning to this area from yesterday. I remember I called that area out in the morning. We obviously didn't come to it in the morning. We came to it, what is that, 11:45. Waited for us to finish up. And, let's see. So there's the 2-hour demand zone. It was broken. We came back to it, so we rebalanced. This was a broken demand too. Also broke it, rebalanced. We're going to delete some of these older zones, older liquidity levels. Orb. I'm going to break that. I'm going to break these, delete these. I'm going to keep this. This was a pretty strong area of interest. I'm going to delete this. Yes. Good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning. Hope everybody is doing well today. Happy Friday. What excitingness in the market we've had this week. Let's see how the weekly time frame is looking actually. It's a weird weekly time frame. Yeah, this is going to be tough, guys. I wonder if Friday we're just going to sell off today and go back to the downside, right? And see if this big spike was just a little manipulation before we continue lower. Dude, we've been selling off for a while now. For about 48 days. So everybody, all the news that's hyping up this reversal, it's not a reversal. We're going to continue lower. And guess what? That's why gold's continuing higher. Let's see. So let's take a look at the 30 here on NASDAQ. I do see, let's break some of these older zones. Same situation, guys. Got to clean up the charts. The 30-minute. And we're going to make that our demand zone around 18,200, guys. 18,200 on the NASDAQ. That is also the NQ or the QQQ. So I'd like to see if we could hold this. That would bring a higher low into the sort of market. So that would be good. We do have, you see this candle right here. This is where the ES had its 30 minutes. So if we open up both charts again, and we look at the crosshairs, they line up right here on this candle. So we're going to mark that out too on the NASDAQ. And see if we want to hold. Now again, same situation, right? We created it, but we didn't take out that high before we pulled back. So we're going to be patient on that as well and see how market wants to react. Do we want to pull back and continue higher? Do we want to break this and come down to this 18,200 demand and continue higher? That's on the 30-minute. Now, NASDAQ ES doesn't have that 30-minute demand there. It has a smaller green candle, which I would not mark as a demand zone. So I would maybe want to see if ES wants to sweep this low right here. This could be an internal low, so like a sell side liquidity. See if we want to take that out. Take that out to the ball game. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Good morning, good morning. See some new faces in here. Good morning, hello, and welcome to the community. Happy to have you guys. Any questions, please feel free to let me know. And yeah, hopefully we get some good trades in today. We'll look to see what we got. So far, we've done some pre-market prep. We've gone over some price levels, some zones, and some potential setups. Let's see, we're looking for crude oil right now. Crude is currently pushing lower. And we can take a look at Bookmap on crude. And we see that buyers were trying to step in. They kept failing. And look at the CVD has been pushing higher on oil while price has been pushing lower. That's a major divergence on the CVD towards the price analysis and volume and volume and price really, because they're not accepting price at higher levels. However, there's still buying, right? There's a lot of buying delta accumulating into the market while we're moving lower. So what I wonder is, are we moving lower and then we're going to reverse because somebody, a much larger institution or a much larger trader, is building their order up until some point? Or are we starting to squeeze our way lower where the CVD is going to give us a sudden drop? This person's going to stop out of their full order and we're just going to see a huge 350, 250 drop to the downside on oil. Now, I don't have much other support or resistance or supply or demand on oil until 5702. So right now, that's what I would be waiting for. Let's see, ES just gave me an alert. Looks like we are crossing that demand zone. So we just tested that demand. We'll pull up ES on Bookmap right now. Got a little bit of a spike right there. We're going to be patient.
The trend line that I posted in the chart a minute ago.
Nice. Yeah, look at that. Check that out. Nice. Very good. Maybe that's the manipulation too, out of your box you have there. But we'll see. We'll see. We had some selling pressure come in. CVD did drop red. We're going to wait here. We don't want to go long just for the sake of us being in a demand zone. We'd much rather wait for us to pull back and let the market prove to us that we are going to reverse and continue higher from here. If we're looking for a demand to supply, and this whole move right here is, let's say, 70 points, then if I quote unquote miss 8 points, I'm not really going to worry about it. If that 8 points means I get to be patient and wait for the confirmation that we're starting to reverse, because right now getting in along here while we're dropping like this so quickly and so strong is not a good trade. We want to be patient. We want to wait for confirmation. Now we do have some strong levels here that we could look to trade off of. Again, I'm personally not going to be taking any of these. I do like it when we have these levels inside demand zones. It adds some strength to them. However, it is still pre-market as well. It is currently 9/11, guys, April 11th, and happy Friday. Hope you guys all had a great week. Finding some support here at this price level on ES. So again, right, being patient sort of helps us wait, see if we could find some type of setup, some type of entry. Now I would wait, and I would sort of wait and see where we are on the footprint chart. Look at that big buying accumulation. Could try a short, a small long position here. On ES, 13-point stop loss. It's not as bad as a 20. Good accumulation, good entry. I'm not in this right now. Sort of just spectating today. Markets have been really on something else lately, really giving us some crazy price action, really unpredictable, and very difficult to trade depending on your strategy and system. And when we notice that market conditions are getting harder to trade depending on our system, we have to be able to either step back and say, okay, well, let me not trade for a bit, let me size down so I don't have more risk on the table. Whatever the case may be, you have to protect yourself. We're not just traders, we're risk managers, we're asset managers, we're portfolio managers. We manage our capital. We don't want to be losing money for the sake of, oh, well, I just have to trade every day. You do not have to trade every day. That's the glory of it.
Ken, you've missed your calling. Man, you should be doing these cartoons
Why
for profit. Did you see
That's
that?
great.
Did you see this cartoon there?
Yeah.
You see the heading?
I have an extremely large background.
I understand.
That's great. Alright, let's keep an eye here on ES, guys. NASDAQ too also in that demand zone, but look at the sellers are trying to step in towards this 52.75 level. So let's see how we react to 52.75. There's the break of it. Large drop on the CVD, cumulative volume delta, right? And again, why we stay patient, why we wait, and why we spectate and watch markets to see how they react and how things are moving, right? Are things moving in my favor? Is my strategy working really well lately that I should look to even size up? Has my strategy not been working in these market conditions? I should either A, size down, or B, find a different market to trade. And those are usually options too. Now, usually, I say usually because right now, most markets are in shambles due to the uncertainty of everything going on. Crude, gold, ESNQ, everything very uncertain. But gold is usually the standard hot when it comes to where you should invest during uncertainty in the market. And as we see, we're making all-time highs today on gold. So great stuff. Look at this. Past 3 days been rallying like crazy on gold. Yes, off a key level, I had 52.71 right here, this blue level. We swept that strong level of passive buyers. See if we could try to hold this. Again, we have 7 seconds left in this 5 minute. Patience is key. Oh, Ken, that's great. That's awesome. Wow, that's really cool. That is really cool. Yeah, guys, check this out, guys. 15-minute close right here. Look how bearish this candle closed. This last candle closed on the 15-minute. That does not suggest any type of reversal at all. We're going to wait on this. We're going to at least wait till market opens. I know some people even wait for the orb, the opening range breakout. We could even wait for that as well. But right now, no trade, because I wouldn't go long in this demand zone because of the selling pressure we've had. But I wouldn't go short right now because we're in a demand zone, and I don't know if we're going to pull back first and then continue or what.
Kevin, what do you think about the Edgeful initial balance 1 hour break there from 9:30 to 10? I was looking at some videos about that last night and looking at the statistics. Looks fairly positive, especially for an options trader. But I was looking at it also on the futures. I mean, it can have some pretty heavy retrace pullbacks, but
Initial balance 60-minute?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
talk about it all the time. For
Yeah.
for TPO, it breaks only one side 80% of the time on NQ.
Yeah, same on ES, only breaks one side 79 pretty much 80% of the time. Look
I
at that.
understand that doesn't mean it won't come back into a sense. In this case, the initial balance and a 1 hour orb are the same thing in this case.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the initial balance for futures also could be constructed as the 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. slot, whereas the orb would be the 9:30. But anyway, but I was looking at the reports, and if you look at it by the different look back periods, 1 year, 6 month, 3 month, 1 month, still fairly positive. And especially if you're an options trader, once you have that break, you could, there's some strategies on that. But then there's also the retracement of how far back after it breaks initial balance, how far back it will pull into the initial balance on average before it
Talk about that all the time too.
Yeah.
Like they won't. I've wrote them to give a statistic of, because in TPO they have the percentages on them. So you, like on professional TPO software, it does 25%, 50%, and so on. So I wrote them to ask what the like what's the high probability of hitting 125 to 150. And when it does that, because we know in TPO when it hits 125, if it rejects, it goes back into the IB. How far in? Me and Kevin went over this months ago, eh, Kev? Like I wrote
Yeah.
it, but I wrote to them, they never got back to me.
Yeah, write to him
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, I mean, the nice thing about you remember that Edgeful is a statistics website that, even if they say there's 100% chance, that's not true. There's always a chance that something won't play out. But the point is, if you like statistics, which is a good thing in trading, that if you've got a 70% on average win rate, let's say, and you can manage your stops, your risk, it can be incredibly profitable. Incredibly profitable. So yeah.
That's cool. I like what Edgeful's looking to do here with their algos. Did you look into that? That's pretty cool.
Well, I did, but I didn't go see how much it's going to cost.
Oh, yeah, no, I didn't look into that part either. I just saw sort of how they're structuring it, how, like, it could find, like, potential setups and stuff. And I like that because I was going to talk to them about sort of influencing some type of AI into their software that could sort of, because they have Screener, they have What's in Play, they have these items already that they could sort of combine to say, okay, does the NASDAQ have a high probability of continuing lower today? Did it break previous day low already overnight? And did it already have a double break recently? Or things along that nature that it lines up automatically because it's, of course, AI and could run a lot faster than we can. But it also depends on where they get their data from and how up-to-date their data is. If they're lacking by even, 2 minutes, that could also throw off the algos. But it'll depend. It really looks interesting. Maybe I'll reach out to them and see if they'll give me a little one-on-one introduction into them. Little.
It'd be good too if it was tick data based and the historical data is correct and no gaps.
Yeah. There we go. That's cool. Very cool. Yeah, they're great over there at Edgeful. And again, they're a new software. This is now they're going on to their second year. They just completed their first year as a company. That was a pretty good first year. Definitely somebody and a company and a software, a platform that I would want to stay in contact with. They have a great system, really one of a kind, and they're looking to just continue making it better and better. Let's see. But yeah,
Does it integrate with TradingView or is it all separate?
Yeah.
How
Yeah, so they have TradingView indicators, and what that does is when you get an account with them and you click TradingView indicator access, you type in your TradingView username, and then when you come over to TradingView, you go over to your indicator section, and you go to your invite only, and you see how these script names, these all say Edgeful? These are all the indicators that are locked unless you have access to it from Edgeful.
Now, a fair warning to everybody, while trading statistics is a wonderful way to trade the markets,
Yep.
the downside to it is you become dependent on a third party, just like Bookmap. You become dependent on a third party. In the end, you still need to learn how to trade. You still need to learn how to trade. This just kind of hopefully gives you a little bit of an edge, but just like that little box video I just had up there, when it broke out of the box, I went short on that for 10, 15, about 15 points on the ES. Made about 15 points on the ES when that thing broke out of my box, because I'm learning, I was using the chart to tell me what's going on.
Right. Yeah, no, we gotta, you know what it is? We gotta use the chart, and we have to use the statistics in favor of our chart, right? Is my chart telling me A, B, and C that I should be looking for longs in this demand zone? Okay, well then what statistic am I looking for? Maybe is it the orb double break? Did we get it? Are we opening around 53.10 above my demand zone? And let's say we break higher first, and I know that the past 3 trading days we've had double breaks, so I could look for us to even look for a short in the supply to target demand if we get the breaks to the upside first, or look for us to re-enter demand and then target supply if we got the breaks to the downside first on that. So that's also how you could use those statistics in your favor as well.
All right, back in a bit.
All right. YouTube guys, make sure you smash that like button. Do appreciate you all for tuning in. Right now we are in a range on the ES, looking at lows around 52.71, 52.80-ish, and highs around 53.40. So we're really going to have to see how market opens. We have about T-minus 6 minutes till market opens. So do we rally when market opens out of this demand zone towards the supply off of the news and people being sort of bullish? Because right now, remember guys, if we turn on almost any news channel right now or any website, whatever, they're trying to inflate some type of news that says bullish markets. Now what happens when we get news like bullish markets? We get bearish markets. What happens when we get news of bearish markets? We get bullish markets. We see this very frequent, very often. Now they're screaming, oh, we're going to reverse because of the tariff pause. We got a pump the first day, that's for sure. Nice big almost 9 to 10% pump. But we didn't have follow through. The volume afterwards, it didn't have follow through. So right now I would be worried that we fail. And if we're looking at something like the weekly time frame, look at how bearish the weekly time frames have been. Very important to keep an eye on those higher time frames so we know if we're in the right trend or not. And right now, we've been bearish for the past 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 7 trading weeks, that's huge, have been red. I don't want to be trying to go in a long position, especially, guess what, today's Friday. This could be the day that we just dump like crazy. So I want to be patient. I don't want to be getting in a long position just because we're in demand. I want to wait and see how the market reacts. I want to see if we can break below it and maybe use it as supply. I want to see if we want to maybe open in the market and push higher towards this supply zone. I want to wait for the market to give me some type of clue or idea or concept of structure, right? So we're going to wait on that. And same with gold, right? We're waiting to see if gold wanted to break this zone and retest it for a demand zone. But right now it is currently a supply zone on the 30-minute. Some ES sellers trying to step in, some absorption stepping in. Market opens in about 4 minutes, guys. 4 minutes. You guys hear that Forex? What is it? That Forex software? That crypto company, Kraken, Krken. I'm a little late on this. I think I mentioned it a couple weeks ago too, but they purchased NinjaTrader. So that's pretty interesting that NinjaTrader has a new owner, silent partner they called it, but now they have a bigger stake on crypto than Coinbase and any other crypto asset. Now they own NinjaTrader, which is futures, so they're really, really getting big and popular and really creating a name for themselves in this industry. They have Forex, they have crypto, now they have futures. They said they're not making any changes to NinjaTrader, which is good. Which also means hopefully no more changes to Tradeovate, which would be great. Oh, look at these highs, man. I just realized I was looking at these highs to be taken out yesterday. We ended up failing them. Took them out today overnight. So sometimes their levels hit, but they don't hit when we want them to, and that's alright. Can't force anything in the market. Just got to trade and trade off the reaction, right? We got to react to the market, not predict. Market opens up in 3 minutes, guys. Drink some water, stay hydrated. Guys, let me know what you're trading today. And don't forget, guys, if you are trading ESNQ, use that measurement tool, or if not the measurement tool, the position tool, to see how many contracts you could trade per your risk. And if it says 0.4 or 0.2 or something with point, that means you cannot trade a mini. You should be trading the micros. And because of how wide the spread has been and how volatile the market has been, a lot of people are in the situation where they're trading micros and not minis. And that's okay, guys. You're going to get the same profit with the micros. We're in a larger volatile market. Don't try to be greedy and think, well, that means I could just make more with minis. No, that means you could lose more with minis. Do not do that to yourself. You'll end up over trading. Emotions set in. You're done. Could always add to your winner. Could always add to your micro trade. Would not recommend adding to a mini trade in this market. What's going on, Lane? Trade in QQQ. Awesome. Yeah, we'll keep an eye. We keep the NASDAQ up as well when market opens. The NASDAQ is the NQ or QQQ, as you mentioned, so you probably trade QQQ options. So you would be trading, if I was long on the NASDAQ, you'd be in QQQ calls. If I was short, maybe in some QQQ puts. But we'll keep an eye on the markets right now. We are looking like we're ready to dump. We have about less than a minute left for market to open. YouTube, make sure you guys keep that like button running up. Discord, hope you guys all had a fantastic week. Again, I see some new faces in here. Just want to welcome you all. Hope you guys are all ready to learn. If you got any questions, please let me know. What's going on? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You already know. Let's see. Market opens 30 seconds, guys. We're going to be patient on this. We'll keep ES and NQ right over here. On the, let's see. Yeah, we'll keep it like that, maybe. Trying to see the best way. See as much as bookmap as possible and as much of trading view as possible. So we'll take it like that because I want to keep an eye on the low volume shelves. And that would be between this 5290 and 5300. Alright, there's market open. There we go. Nice spike come out of demand. Beautiful. Gold up 5%. Well, 2% we have on gold. Gold Barrick is up 5%. Here's our 15-minute time frame, looking like it wants to take out that previous 15-minute high, and it did just now. Be careful with that. Want to see if we could take out the 30-minute, 45. Look at the hourly time frame. Check out that hourly. So something I might look for too, guys, is how the hourly wants to close. Now, guys, remember, we want to be careful because at 10 o'clock we have Michigan consumer sentiment. That's going to spike the market. Let's say we were in a long trade right now. We were in some calls. We're starting to pump. We get Michigan consumer sentiment. That could just drop us, completely pop us. We don't know. So we're going to want to be a little patient for that and be out of our trades beforehand. What's going on, Harley? Are you in some SPY puts right now? Swing trading those? Try to sell the pullbacks. I like to see that. I'm telling you, I don't think that the market's found their bottom. I don't think so. I think there's still too much uncertainty. And until I see some proof that the market does want to reverse, and that proof would be, taking out at least this previous day high one step at a time, right? Take out this previous day high, and then take out this supply zone, 57.73. Once we can take out 57.73, I believe we'll be back in a bull market. But right now, too much uncertainty. We've been bearish. We are down over... right now, over 15% from our high, so we're still technically in a correction right now. So to be bullish right now is very difficult to do. Look at that, guys, right? Sell those highs, sell those pops. Beautiful. Came into a fair value gap on the 15 and rejected lower. Very good. This demand zone is failing. Love it, guys, love it. But we'll see. What I wanted to wait for is to see if we could break through this demand zone, create maybe a fair value gap or something over it, and then use that as my retest and entry. So we're just going to wait right now. We see that sellers are trying to step in. CVD is currently red, trying to push negative 800. Boom, negative 9. Nice. Look at that. Good sellers stepping in, guys. And there goes gold, giving us what we wanted. So gold on the 15 is trying to break. It broke that the 30-minute demand zone. So I'm going to mark this 15-minute order block right here. This is where I want us to retest after we close up here on the 15-minute time frame. Crude oil we're not even going to bother with today because we're getting some nice looking setups on ES and NQ so far. And gold. So we're going to wait, see if these setups hit, see if we get our entry. After rejection on Q, hopped in puts. Nice, nice. Beautiful. Yeah, great entry on those puts. Gotta watch that weighted index. What I like to see, guys, is equities, right? Where are equities right now? Well, Meta's near that previous day low, trying to break it lower. Tesla's rejecting. Nvidia's trying to push lower. Microsoft pushing below its VWAP. Apple with some buying pressure. Got to be a little careful there. Put AVG. I'm going to put Amazon in the bottom, I think, for a moment. I used to keep an eye on Amazon. Then I switched it to AVGO. But I'm going to look into the holdings and see what has a higher percent. Look at this, guys. This is why we don't take the shorts on some type of potential breakout, because we don't know if we're going to find support here, because we also have the tool of Bookmap to show that there was some support building up there. So be careful on this right now. It's still the first 5 minutes of the day. We got to remember, the first 30 minutes of the day could be the opposite direction before we finally get the trend for the market day, right? So we're going to be patient. Weighted index is trying to hold green right now. NASDAQ trying to push back lower. We're just going to wait and see. China hits US with a tariff hike again. I mean, there's still, again, as great as it is that he paused the tariffs and the market gave us that strong reaction, we have to remember the tariff situation is still ongoing. And with it being ongoing, there's still too much uncertainty to be clear in the market, to be bullish, to be seeing and thinking we're going to reverse. So we're going to wait. We want to wait till we see some type of proof in the market for that, right? There we go, finding some support here. Now, this is a demand zone, so I wouldn't be taking any shorts into this demand zone. I'd be either waiting for us to break below it and see if we could retest it, or wait to see if we could break back above it and come to this 30-minute supply zone. Tuttle Capital will be launching a 2x ETF on GME soon. Can I short it? Uncertainty in the market. Buy a meme coin. I'm just kidding, guys. Look at that 15-minute basing candle we had here. What I want to do is I want to check the footprint chart here on the ES. See if it was a bullish delta or not. It was a bullish delta. But the point of control is way down here. So I would really need to see this volume keep accumulating higher. And I would need to see price continue higher with the volume. Without that and price continues lower, we have to be careful.
So
I know,
4
Marzidi.
a.m. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I know, Marzidi, right? On GME, out of all stocks, do it on like Nvidia or Microsoft or Meta or something. Man, Meta has been something. The past, since COVID, Meta hit a low of 90. And then since then, I think it hit a high of, oh my God, 740? That's insane. What would you make an ETF 2X on, Marzidi? The VIX.
That's a good question. I've traded UVXY a time or two, but the problem with UVXY is it's designed to depreciate over time. So they do stock splits and reverse splits all the time. And
No. Guys, really need to see the selling pressure step in, but I don't like this lower wick we had down here on the 5-minute. So we're going to wait on this again. This is a support zone on the ES, and I believe the NASDAQ is also in a demand zone. So we're going to wait on this. The weighted index is trying to push higher, so we don't want to be jumping in any puts right now. And again, guys, Michigan consumer sentiment, 10 o'clock today. We don't want to be caught up in some chop just for the IV to crush us too, if you guys are trading options.
the low, the 4 a.m. low on the ES is 52.57 and a quarter. We have made a run for it. We are below that trend line. We've tested it and rejected it thus far. So that is definitely a bearish signal. So
5,300 on gold today? Nah. It's a little far.
52.57 is a low target, then followed by, at the moment, a VWAP extension of 52.37-ish.
Gold, what do we need? The ADR. Let's see. Oh, no, wait, what's in play? They got gold working on what's in play? Oh, that's so awesome. Oh, I'm so happy about that. That's great. They had for the longest time an issue connecting gold to what's in play on Edgeful. Now they have it. That's awesome. I wanted to see the potential bullish move. Potential bullish move, 3310. 3,300 can be in the books today on gold. That would be huge. Got to remember, though, it's 50-50 on ADR exceeded or respected. Right now, ADR filled 23%. So what if we do... Oh, no. I was going to say, what if we do only 50% respected? But I don't think we could change that. Alright, that's cool, man. That's so cool. I'm so glad they fixed that. Alright, here it looks like some buying coming in here on ES. That's why I said I was be careful with those longer wicks down there, right? People are trying to get trapped in the short positions, trying to short inside this demand zone, right? We had support on ES, we had support on NASDAQ. We even noted that the weighted index was starting to push higher as well. So very important to be aware of these things when trading, guys. Got to listen to the market and what it's telling us, and not look to try to short those bottoms or buy those tops. Just be patient. There we go. Great buying pressure. Nice little short squeeze there. Out of demand. Looking at target 53.58 to the buy side if we continue with buying pressure. Guys, what you see right here, this green line and this red line that are forming, This is this is a tool, the initial balance breakout tool. So it's going to mark out the high and low of the first hour of market. Just sort of playing around with this tool right now. I think I think Marziti, you mentioned it earlier. I thought somebody else mentioned the opening, the
Random
initial
uses
balance.
it differently. Random uses it based on TPO, um, and Edgeville, of course, has got stats on it. So same concept, different ways of playing it,
Yeah,
or different ways of getting your info on it.
that's cool. All right, check out gold here, guys. Gold had a huge pullback right there. Only 4 minutes left for this 15 to close. I need it to close above this recent all-time high level, 32.55. There we go. ES big drop, big pullback to demand again. Look at all these negative sellers. Negative 896 delta right here. All the volume accumulating. We want to wait. We don't want to be shorting. Again, this is sort of the bottom of the range right here, and we see the volume portion as well. We want to wait. Too much uncertainty right now without seeing a breakout to the downside first or continuation back to the upside. We are also near a VWAP level as well, so right now sort of rocking a hard place, right? We have buyers below us in demand. We have sellers above us at VWAP. And glad we stayed out of crude today because, again, it looks like it was going to dump lower. It found some support near the bottom of its range, right? This is oil's range right here. We could see that if we box it out real quick. This is sort of the highs over here, the lows over here. So we wouldn't want to go short at the lows. We'd want to sort of go long at the lows. Or, again, like I said, not trade at all. We don't have to trade if we're not getting a good setup. I like this for potential retest. This might be an area, but I'm not going to take any trades here. Again, too much uncertainty in the market. The only certainty right now is the uncertainty of the minute to minute. We have consumer sentiment in about less than 20 minutes, and I want to see how we react to that as well, and if it comes in bullish or bearish. There we go. See that? It was a pullback to demand. See if we want to come out of it now with some buying pressure. A potential long setup would be right here, and we would want to look for that supply zone up there. We'd really need to see some buying pressure. There we go. Looks alright, looks alright. I like that the weighted index is also trying to move higher. Equities are trying to move up too. Under pressure. Do, 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 do. Good gold trying to close up there too. We'll check our 15-minute time frame so we can mark out our opening range breakout. That's our orb. 15-minute orb high and orb low. And look at that. Weighted index is pumping right now. Equities are pumping. We're getting that pump on ES2. Here we go, guys. Boom. Look at that. Huge. Huge. Let's go. Love it. There we go. Break that. Break that. Let's go. Huge. It's pushing the orb high even higher. Here we go, guys. Love that. Great buying pressure in this. Some good volume on it as well. I need to see this volume. Look at this candle, though. This volume candle on this buy right here. I need it to pick up for this last minute, or this might be a fake out. We got to be careful. Remember, consumer sentiment at 10 o'clock. It is going to be 9:45 in a minute. So now we have a new orb is up here. We can sort of wait on this right now. I do think, excuse me, I do think we continue here. I like that the equities are pushing higher. Amazon, new high a day. Nvidia, close to new high of day. Meta, new high a day. Microsoft, Apple, all new high days. Guys, bullish across the board right now, right? Those are the signs, those are the clues we're seeing at the moment. Bullish out of this demand zone. Great. Let's see if we continue higher. We're going to close on the 15 in about 10 seconds. We're going to close on the 5 in about 10 seconds. And they're going to close a little more bullish. So we could be looking to pull back here. I'm sorry, to continue higher here, not pull back here. Continue higher here. For a target to the upside, I would like to see the supply zone 53.58. If at least this pivot high right here around 53.50. Give us that break of the orb to the upside. It might struggle before breaking it because a lot of people might look for it taking that trade to the upside. Here we go. Almost. Guys, YouTube, don't forget, join our community at bullishbrs.com, and you can join us every day for some live streams and live trading. Always good to trade with the community, especially a community of like-minded folks, like-minded traders, people looking to either further their trading education or look to trade with other consistent traders. There we go, guys. That's what I'm talking about. There's that nice pump right there. Beautiful. Beautiful. Love it, guys. Market's sort of giving us some nice moves right now. Love to see it. So gold pulled back to the zone, but I'm no longer interested in this gold trade anymore. Pulled back too strong. It's got a lot of selling pressure, and we already found something on the ES. So we don't want to try to jump into something else if it's not lining up in our favor and we're already in a trade or looking at another trade or setup. Yes, trying to form some support here. Another big buyer. Let's see if we have a run up. But I do think we're pretty extended on this current 5-minute. We have 3 minutes left. I think people are chasing up here, and we might pull back to stop them out first before continuing. We're going to keep an eye, though. Look at that weighted index pushing higher, so that means our equities, Nvidia, Apple, Meta, Tesla now also new high a day. So we have all of our equities trying to make these new high a days. Going to be patient on this, guys, looking for these longs to continue. Guys, don't forget, if you're trading options and you were in some shorts or you were in puts or you were swing trading some puts and you see that the market's maybe reversing long short term, you could always trade against it, right? You don't need to sell your puts. You could maybe buy a call and look to scalp that call. Look at that. I love the strength of the equities right now. I think ES might have a nice another run right here. But 2 minutes left on this 5. That's sort of what's throwing me off right now, too. A lot of absorption, a lot of... Look at the spread right now. We're all over the place on ES. We don't want to get in any trades up here. Here we go. Wow, look at that, guys. Oh, man. Huge. Huge. Look at this. We're trying to break above our volume shelf right here. Our volume shelf is our heavy area of volume on our session volume profile. We're trying to break above it. So we got to see if we could find some strength out of it. Weighted index equities are starting to pull back. VIX is still pushing lower though, which is bullish. We have a minute left on this 5-minute. We're pulling back at the moment, but that doesn't mean we should look to flip our bias or look to exit quickly. Just got to wait right now. Market's never going to run right to our take profit. It might run right to our stop loss, but rarely will it run right from our entry to take profit unless we are looking for that quick momentum or that quick scalp. Sometimes we will get that quick move to our TP, depending if there's some type of news or catalyst behind it, right? It always depends on what's going on in the world. There we go, guys. Boom. Equities, new high of days. Tesla, big pullback. Just a little fair warning right there. But there we go. ES, nice pump. Oh, man. I'd maybe look to get out up here into this weakness in case we fail these highs. But right now we're looking all right. 9 seconds left. Yeah, like I said, maybe get out into the weakness up here. But VIX is pushing lower. Don't forget, guys, some VIX puts. Yes, looking to continue. Really trying to break out of this volume range right here. But if you were in longs from this demand zone, this would be a great place to look to exit, guys. 30, 40 points on ES is a huge trade right there.
I'm going to lay down.
Alrighty, let's see. Bit of a pullback here. We're just gonna wait right now. CVD did push red, so remember I said, you know, maybe look to get out if you were in longs from this demand zone. 40 points is not bad. This could just be a pullback. This was the breakout of, actually, where's our orb high? Yeah, this was the breakout of our orb to the upside. So if we did want to check our edge full stats, we could probably look to see ES orbs double break 60% of the time. Breakout, yes. Breakdown, not yet. But 60% of the time we have a double break. We've had double breaks for the most part. 2 of the past 3 trading days. Yesterday, though, was a breakdown. So we got to be careful with that, guys. I'd maybe look for a double break today. So maybe we go up to supply and find another short entry in supply and target the lows. Or if we end up rejecting here and push lower, if we get back below our opening range break, that would also bring us back below this demand zone that we now held as demand. If we could break it below, we would want to see if it could hold as supply. So not too bad so far today, guys. Pretty solid Friday. Taking it easy, cool, calm, and collective.
It'd be kind of cool if Edgeful could have a pop-up alert that will give you whatever the statistics are that you choose in trading
That would be cool.
for confluence
That'd be
and
cool.
support.
You know, it looks like they're trying to work on something like that. When you go to their algos portion, the trading algos thing, it looks like, where was it? I thought I saw alerts. Yeah, entry and exit alerts. Right? So that they probably are working on something like that. Yeah, it looks, yeah, I think they are. That's really cool.
I'm playing around with Williams Alligator right now to do kind of something like that.
Now, don't get your hand bit off.
On 1 minute time frames.
Gotcha. Very good. Here we go, random. Random, I was right about to say any trades so far, but I'm sure you hit TP for the day.
I'm done. Yeah, I'm done on this account here.
Yes, sir. What do we got? We got a scalp. What was that? A long?
3 longs.
3 longs?
Well, 1 stop. Yeah, 4 longs.
Oh, 4 longs. 3 longs don't make it right.
3 ducks and a goose.
Yo, nice. Good longs, though, man. I'm glad. Look at that. See, we both saw the same buys and everything, too. Love it. Love it. There we go. ES finding that continuation. It might run for that supply zone. Ooh,
I think a lot of people were short at 667, so I think it's probably trying to maybe take those guys out,
Yep.
So that's what gave me that criteria. So I front run it. So like, let's say my criteria is that, I'm just front running my criteria so I get out early.
Gotcha. Good stuff, man. Good work. Good trades. Now time to make those paper billies.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty busy too. We'll see if I have time.
Oh yeah, good. Hey, busy's good, right? Sometimes.
Fridays, man.
True.
Got to buy the steaks. Got to go out get steaks and.
There you go. Can you talk more about positioning sizing if you are ES versus MES? How do you determine how much to do? Yeah, so position sizing depends on sort of the ADR, right, of the day. Now, I don't use any ADR HCR tools. I just use basic measurements to look for how much I should be risking. So you could use either the measurement tool over here, which you could just sort of measure out how many points there are. But what really helps is the long and short position tool. So when you come over to forecasting on the left-hand side over here, let's say we wanted a long position, and I wanted a long right here. And well, let's just use the real example we have right here. Right, I had a 17-point stop loss. Now, if my normal risk is $250, I could only trade zero point 0.2 contracts on the ES. Now, we can't trade a fraction of a contract, but we can in a way. We could trade micros. So instead of trading 0.2 ES, we would trade 2 MES. So we would trade 2 MES contracts, and that would give us our $250 risk right here. Now, if my stop loss was tighter, let's say it was up here, then I'd be able to trade 0.5. I'd be able to trade 5 micros, 5 MES. And what happens once we start having a tighter stop loss and we're able to add contracts, obviously what happens is if we look at our take profit, it remains the same. It's still 70 points. But when we have a tighter stop loss and have more contracts, the profit we gain from the trade is much higher. Do you switch from ES to MES then do this? No, so I just keep ES on my chart over here. Whatever I'm doing my analysis on, I'll keep it on the chart over here. And my execution, if I am, so very rarely will I be on MES, but because we're in very rare market conditions, I am trading some micros. On my other monitor, I have the micros up where I'm just executing the trades, but I'm using my tools and my analysis on the ES and on this chart over here. Now, a little trick you could keep an eye on. Now, let's say you're like, okay, well, I want to trade the MES, but I want to look at the ES, but I only have one monitor. Well, what you could do, even though, yes, you did all of your charting on the ES over here, if you go back to your 30 and you want to just do the recent zones, you could do the 30-minute zones on the MES. Say, okay, well, now I have my 30-minute supply, my 30-minute demand. Okay, well, now I have my zones on the MES. You could then chart the MES to do that.
We have a pretty good range on NQ right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, look at that.
Yeah, they're just support resistance, so it's like if it can't break that high, then I'd expect, or it fails when it breaks that high, then I expect the opposite.
Yep. No, I see. On what I see right now is on the 5-minute at least, is we have some lower highs, and they're sort of lower time frame. They're sort of lower liquidity. So I would rather see them run through first and then reverse. You know what I'm saying? So that might take out that TPO level. Where's that TPO high?
That's 673, and the low, like let's say it fails, then the low to take out, because they're just support resistance really, is 229.
Yep.
I'm not looking there. That's crazy, right? I mean,
oh,
it's just that,
we got
right?
Michigan.
It's just crazy to even think that way. But anyway, the point is, you have to have your levels, right?
Yep. Guys, be careful. Michigan consumer sentiment in less than a minute. As we see on Bookmap, they pulled all passive orders. So we're waiting right now. Wait for that news. Wait to see the reaction. Good setup so far today, guys. Good direction. Good understanding of the market. And good just being patient.
Yeah, thanks for the heads up, man. That's so important. Like,
yeah, dude,
get the hell out.
Absolutely. I mean, this thing could just, like, skyrocket in a second, you know? Could do nothing.
Well, actually, we don't know. It could do both and screw everyone.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. That's its favorite. I swear, it's like, you remember the old meme? It was like, hold my beer. The market's like, yo, hold...
Yeah.
hold my stop loss. All right, here we go. We got 2 seconds. And let's see. Whew. So we got a little bit of a spike lower. See if this is a liquidity run before we finally make our way to the supply zone at 53.57 on ES. What are you doing? Yeah, I got my cat a new cat tree. He likes it. I'm gonna like set it up behind me. So it's just gonna be, he'll be my risk manager. Here we go. So again, we're trying to find some support here, finding some selling pressure. We're gonna be patient. Cannot trade this. Let it sort of ease up. Give it at least a minute after we get some type of news catalyst like this. Because we don't know if this drop starts and then it just continues. Wow, trading views even getting laggy. I mean, we're going to get some crazy volatility here. We also don't know if we're going to drop and continue lower and break that orb to the downside. Nah, ES, go hit my TP to the upside. Go hit that supply zone. That's it, I'm taking out the flip phone. Making my calls. Ring, ring. Pump it. 90-day pause right now.
He bought.
He bought.
Dump it.
Yeah. When he calls and he says he bought and they dump the market. he bought. Oh, there we go. There we go. All right. Nice. What we were looking for, guys, is we're looking for follow through. Yup, that's it. That's the one I was thinking of. That's great. Now, I'm telling you guys, we're just retesting demand one more time. VIX trying to move higher. Weighted index equities are dumping right now. No longer looking for any long positions. Kuwait. We did have our breakout to the upside on the orb so far. Ooh. Not much.
Don't think me, man. My fake trade's doing well. My fake trade's killing it.
Dude, you're killing it in the Monopoly world right now.
Oh yeah. He's gonna call me up. Want me to pay more tax?
Go to jail card.
Yeah, you like get arrested at Walmart for opening up the Monopoly boxes. You're like, you don't understand. I'm putting the money in.
Yeah. I'm putting the money in. That's crazy. Oh, boom. Yeah, look at that equity selling off, guys. We're gonna drop it like it's hot.
Look at that one. Look at that fakey.
Look at that fakey. Ooh. Big fake money, fake money. Let's get it. Bro, you should be making that fake money on like an Apex. Did you trade Apex today?
Not yet. I'm trying to. Yesterday I did really well, man. Like,
Yeah, it was cool.
crushed it. Almost 12K.
That's
So
sick. Oh, you traded more on
then-
it? Last I saw it was like 9K. You did up to 12? Nice.
yeah, I got it up to 12. Yeah.
That's cool, man.
I'm gonna take a break just because I have to do stuff today. So I might not. I might just wait till Monday or even Tuesday.
Gotcha.
With the volatility, that's to do 12K on it in a day is crazy.
Yeah. Kidding me? Yeah, hell yeah. Guys,
I
he
just
did
made
12.
11 fake K.
Dicey.
I
Yeah,
know.
right. CME raising margin rates on bonds today, effective by end of day. Alright, that's fine. Wow, look at that. No joke. It tested this demand zone trying to hold. We do have point of control is up here near 5303 VWAP. Looks like we might be trying to hold this, guys. Looks alright. We're just gonna have to wait a sec.
And then that thing took my contracts and ripped.
Short my
My
stocks.
fake ones. Yeah, no, like I got out and then it just like pumped right off of it.
There we go. See if it wants to hold VWAP and this demand zone down there, guys. Looks alright. Oh, here we go on gold. Gold broke this. Look at that. Retested it. It's trying to reject it. Interesting. I think a yes might pop here. I don't know. We'll wait and see. Remember, guys, weighted index equities were sort of weak right now. I don't want to be jumping the gun in anything.
Yeah, good point. It's doing the same pattern as what pumped it, like on the Trump news. So
Yep.
that's what's scaring me because it's like 20 goes to 20 grand, right? Good luck. But the point is, I'm like, what are the odds of it doing that twice? Same pattern.
Right. Yeah, what are the odds I get struck by lightning twice here, guys? If I'm
Yeah.
holding this big metal pole that screams tariffs in this lightning storm, there's no way. Fool me once. I'm also interested to see where this initial balance is. Very cool, guys. Yo, my cat's loving it. I mentioned before that cat tree. He's watching the monitors. He's like, this is so cool. I'm going to teach him how to trade.
He knows how to trade. He's just not telling you.
100%, man. You know what?
He's rich. He's like one of those independently wealthy cats.
One of those independent wealthy cats.
There's several. We just never see them, right? Because they're smart.
Well, because they run the country, they're just wearing costumes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, think about it. They're like frugal. That's how they got rich, you know? Let these dumb people feed me.
That's great. You got any pets?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got my dog's always beside me.
Nice. Nice. What about the rest of you guys? Guys, got any trading pets with you guys while you guys are trading the markets? Always good to have a companion to keep you from throwing your monitor across the screen, the room. Bah. Look at that, guys. Buyers did in fact step in there. Huge. Dude, it really retested that demand. That's awesome. I think now we want to go for that supply 53.57 target. Not much resistance beforehand. Here's the run, guys. Nice. Huge. Big buying pressure, huge. CVD pushed green, love to see it. Equities pushing green as well, awesome. And a lot of equities off of VWAP. I don't even want to put equities on the chart right now because I believe ES is just going to pop towards that TP. 20 points away. We have a minute 36 left. We got to wait because that minute 30 left, that is time for it to pull back first and then give us a quick little pop. So we could wait right now. Could even look to see where the footprint is. Our footprints in the sand.
Yeah, it's keeping me out. It's too obvious, so I'm not doing nothing.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, yeah, words right out of my mouth about the too obvious. We have all this buying. It looks like we're popping here, but our volume isn't matching the pop right now. Our volume's still resting down here. We needed a volume to start accumulating higher with price. Right now, this 0.18, this is starting to get higher. 1.9, want to see that go to 2. Okay, great. Now we're starting to see something, but it's going to depend on how we close on this 5 minute. Because right now we are starting to pull back. So 40 seconds left. Let the 5 close if you're not already in a trade. Your dog's double down on puts at my rejection. Oh no, Lane. Be careful on that. Be careful on that. Especially on this pop right here. 4 Frenchies, 1 American Bulldog, and a kitty. Oh man, you got your house full of trading pets. That's awesome, guys. It's what we do it for. We don't trade for ourselves. We trade for our loved ones. That's our pets. And I guess our family too, but mainly our pets. There we go. Point of control moving up higher. That's what I want to see. Now I have a bit more confidence again, leaning towards the buys to this upside target. 30 points to the upside on ES up here. Now we're just going to wait on this. Be patient. Gold chopping. Glad we didn't take anything on gold. As we mentioned earlier, didn't want to really try. We saw ES was giving us something nice. We didn't want to force anything on gold. And we got to remember too, gold's at all-time highs right now, which makes price action a lot harder to trade because we don't have any historical levels to trade off of. Here we go, some buying pressure on ES. Great, looking for us to continue. Look at the Delta, guys. Delta flipped bullish on this red candle. Since then, we had a stronger positive Delta here. Looking for Delta to stay positive here and continue higher. We need price to move higher with volume levels moving higher with it. Guys, happy Friday. Hope everybody's having a great day today. Hope everybody had a great week. April 11th. I can't believe we are already in April 2025. That is wild, man. It's going to be next year in no time.
Lost this demand area, so qualifies here.
All right, we'll see. We'll see. We're still above
I mean,
VWAP.
scalp, right? Like, I'm scalp, but it qualifies, right?
Yeah.
Got it. Got it.
Nice, nice.
It was just a measly $3,000.
Sure, that's it. This guy. Hey.
Paper money is hilarious, but Apex feels the same way. It's like you do like a $5,000 trade or something. You're like, oh, this paper money.
That's great. Yeah, no, I know, because it doesn't feel real, because you have to really get a payout before you really make any money with them anyways. But,
Yeah, I mean, I've never used them. It's just you were telling me about it, so I was like, I'll try it out instead of paper and see how it goes. And
yeah, no, they're cool.
it's cheap. It's like $50 a month or something. Like if it, like, to me, it's like it's still paper until you prove yourself. Because the one thing is
Might find
like
support here.
yeah.
What were you going to say?
If we do, well, actually, this is more important. You're right. This if it holds, it would be a scalp pump right here.
Yeah, I'm thinking we might go. I'm telling you, I really want that supply zone up there, but if we do fail, I could see sellers taking control again. But what were you saying about Apex? I'm sorry.
Just that when it moves up, like I have to be aware. Like I trade 5 contracts for 500. Like I'm good at that. On paper, what I've been doing is I lost it. This could be, oh, sorry. On paper, it's like it could rotate and you don't pay attention, but it follows you around. Like Top Step doesn't. Top Step's like
Yeah, no,
you lock in what you lock in, and you've got what you got, so it's different, right?
Yo, yeah. Oh, look at that. Ooh, ooh. Come on, buyers. You know you want to follow through. I like the big buy bubble we had here. Tells me we had decent volume. CVD spiked right beforehand, too. I have to get better at trading. Been at 8 years. Been a roller coaster. Randomly came up on your live stream today. Enjoy while I'm working. Hey, that's awesome, man. Well, I'm glad you found our live stream. You know, we have a trading community. If you go to bullishbrs.com, you know, we do these live streams every day for our community. We sort of help everybody out. I do a pre-market prep every morning. I'm going to be live trading with you guys like every day too, pretty much. Maybe 4 days. We'll see about 5. But yeah, no, it's great to trade with a community to learn with. Because if you have questions, if let's say somebody else has the same question as you might not even realize it. And that might click for you and be like, oh my God, they just made a great point. So that's also why community is so amazing, right? You could maybe skip a step that you weren't even aware of. If you're worried about your technical analysis right now, but somebody had a question on risk management And them pointing something out on risk management makes you realize, oh, wait a minute, I've been sizing in at 300 per risk when maybe I should have been doing 150. And that alone, when we're able to size down on our risk, our mindset changes, and we're able to really trade the markets versus trading the emotion and trading our capital, right? We don't want to trade our capital, we want to trade our markets. The markets. Yeah, absolutely, man. Appreciate the sub. Appreciate everybody hit that like button too. Appreciate you all. Always here to help out. And don't forget, guys, you guys can join me Wednesdays on Benzinga at 11:30. I host Futures Fever with Peter Tuckman and David Green. So very cool stuff there. You guys get a free chance to win an Apex Trader evaluation account too. Such a cool show. I want to talk to them about doing more shows like that. How cool would that be? We'll see. Gotta get balls rolling, yes sir. Look at crude oil, very range bound. Glad we understood to stay away from crude today. Here we go, ES making its way higher. Nice, love it, guys. We found that
All right,
support.
so check that one too. Check that out.
Let's get it. Let's
Breaks
get
it, comes back. Yeah. So it's same as what you trade, but just on right?
Yep.
Support resistance comes, so it breaks, comes back in, you wait, take the trade, boom, up to the next resistance.
Very good. Very good. Money, money, money. Must be funny. Can't sing too much. YouTube will flag me. Weighted index showing some weakness here, guys. So if we take a look at our equities, let's see. We have Microsoft trying to fail VWAP. We have Meta is failing VWAP. We have Tesla, same situation. Look at that. A lot of our equities right now are looking very weak. So at this moment, on this 5-minute chart, I would wait to see how we want to close. Do we want to start to flip bearish and push lower? And this is where we might want to continue lower on the ES and NQ. Or are equities looking like this as a fake out before they want to continue higher as well? Right now, they're looking a bit more weaker. So I would stay out of any trade and just sort of wait. Lane, something I would recommend too if you have been trading for a while and feeling like you're struggling to find consistency and you've been trading options is look into futures. Futures they're not a lot different, but they're different in the sense that you don't have to worry about things like Greeks, like delta, theta, things like that. And you could trade purely the price action, right? Buy at the low, sell at the highs type of deal, but you could have your stop loss set at 52.62, and it doesn't matter if it takes 20 hours to get there or it takes 20 seconds to get there. It's still going to be the same amount of money. There we go. Big dump on ES right here, guys. Huge. Guys, let me know too. Do you listen to any music when you're trading? Put like a little earbud in or play a little music in the background, or is it just me? Like, I mean, do you listen to just me? Lo-fi, there you go. There you go. Yep, something low tempo, something cool, calm, collective, a little jazzy something, you know. Keep it smooth.
Well, the voices in my head, they tell me to listen to them instead of the music.
That makes sense. I understand that. Let's see. Big sellers right here, guys. Look at the selling volume. We had lots of large selling participants. CVD's moving lower. Negative 1,700 right now. And something else I'd want to look for is I'd want to see if the VIX could start pushing higher with some strength too. Right now, markets are at some extremes, and we know that and can see that with the VIX. So it's going to be harder for the VIX to move higher, which means it's going to also sort of result in it's harder for the ES to move lower too. But we're going to see. We got to wait and see how the market wants to move. We are moving lower at the moment. Equities are still looking bearish. Look at this, guys. Microsoft selling off. Meta. Tesla, new low day on Tesla. Close to, not really close, about 80 cents, 90 cents away to new low day on Amazon. Ozzy, if you're still in here, I think you are. No, you're not. I'll let him know. I'm looking at Amazon lately in that bottom right chart instead of AVGO. Boom, look at that. Seller said, hey, yo. VIX, nice little spike there. ES with the drop lower. Let's see, we just swept this recent low, so be careful on any recent low sweeps when you're trying to take a breakout trade, because a lot of times we'll pull back after we break a recent low, because the market knows a lot of people have their stop losses there, or they're looking for that breakout. So let's just wait for a moment, see what market wants to give us. We are still now trading back into this demand zone. A lot of selling pressure coming in here, guys, but I would not look to take any shorts at the lows here. Alrighty, good morning everybody. Guys, YouTube, keep running up that like button. There's that orb double break, guys, on the NASDAQ. Just broke to the downside. Here we go. And guys, don't forget I said this demand zone becomes lower quality because we weren't able to break the high, right? Remember we were looking at that earlier? So very interesting. Really looking to see if we want to break below it and retest it for supply. That would tell me that we're in more of a bear trend today. Here we go. Look at the daily time frame too, right? So it's going to depend. If we want to remain range bound today, we're going to stay within that demand zone. We're not going to break this demand zone. Or we're going to break it and reverse back higher and stay range bound. And we do not want to trade that tight of a range. That's why it's better off to wait for that breakout and a retest to know that we're getting that trend direction, right? Don't jump the gun into anything. Be patient. And guess what? Sometimes jumping the gun will work in our favor, but more times than not, it will not. And that's not how we want to be trading. Trade with your rules. Trade with your system. My system says I can't go short when we're in a demand zone, so then I'm not going to go short when we enter a demand zone. A lot of selling pressure, though. I wouldn't look to go long here either, right? My system also calls for me to say, okay, well, if we're coming into a demand zone after we just tried to come out of it before, but we failed the rally, well, that tells me this zone is much weaker, most likely going to fail. And that's what we're getting right now. So we're just going to wait. Be patient and build a system that works for you. Build a system that you're comfortable with. Build a system that you see happens often in the market, that you could repeatedly look for the same setups. Yes,
TPO
breaking
down
it.
levels coming up
Nice.
that we were talking about.
Yes, sir. Yup, there's that break of demand on ES and NQ too. Let's see. Pushing away from VWAP. VWAP starting to push lower too. I'm telling you guys, I don't think the market found its bottom. VIX starting to spike as well, guys. Definitely looking like we're going to be selling for a little while. Now, again, don't be chasing these lows, guys. Do not sell the lows. You sell the lows, you end up getting caught up in a pullback, and you end up getting stopped out. You take a loss for no reason. If you really need to take a short right now, then short the pullback. But don't be chasing the lows, guys. We do not know. Because remember, I just mentioned before, if we break this low and start to reverse too, we could still stay range bound. So we have 30 seconds for the 5 to close. Wait 30 seconds. VIX is pushing higher though. VIX new high a day, ES new low a day. That is both confluence in the sense of a bearish market here to continue. 10 seconds left. Look at that pullback though. Why we don't short the lows. Definitely looking more
upcoming
bearish.
events, we have Fed speak at 11 and the White House briefing at 1 o'clock, which is usually not a market mover. And then oil reports coming out at 1 p.m. Eastern.
Nice.
So Fed
Time is it?
speak, and there's no telling what could happen with that. That's just a wild card.
Yeah, I know. It'll either do a whole lot of nothing or a small something. We still haven't had our initial balance break, right? So we got 5 minutes till then, till we close on the first hour of market open. So we could wait for direction on that as well. And again, looking like we just had our double break on the orb too. So we broke to the upside, then we broke back lower. Now we're going to the downside. We broke the downside on the orb. So there's our double break and still very range-bound price action. Want to recognize the price action so we can know when to trade, when not to trade, and how to trade, right? Am I trading a trend? Am I trading a range? Right now, bears are winning on this, but without breaking certain key levels in my system, I can't take any shorts here. Somebody else might have a different system where, oh, if we try to hold demand and then we fail it and try to hold it again and fail it again, by the third time we're in it, I could take shorts and put my stop loss A, B, and C. And guess what? That could work phenomenally for that person. That's not in my book. That's not in my system. So I'm not going to force anything that isn't. And that's how everybody should face trading. It's great to hear other people's analysis, other people's systems, so you could try to incorporate it into your own system and strategy, but never force something that isn't you and that you don't know and don't have confidence in. Hey, what's up, City Chip? See another new face in here. What's going on? Good morning and hello. Happy Friday. Hope you're doing well today. Equities are selling off right now, guys. So again, wouldn't really be looking for longs anymore. These shorts are taking pressure, taking control. They're under pressure. Do, 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 do.
Okay, SPY for Fridays. Looking at I sampled the 1 year,
Ooh.
6 month, 3 month, 1 month. So SPY would cover SPX, XSP, ES, and to a great extent the NASDAQ stuff as well. 75% chance it only breaks one side. So we're coming up on the 1030 orb, and the break typically goes 1.4% from the side that breaks. So if we break the low, you go down 1.4%. And that is the average break distance. Now, that does not mean that it cannot come back inside the initial balance. And let me look up those statistics now. Trying to figure out which side we're going to break. I thought we were going to break bullish, but now I think we're going to break bearish. It's hard to say.
Alright, look at these sellers stepping in, guys. I'm telling you, just got to be patient on this. Sellers do have momentum. Sellers have the market right now in their hands. But we have low volume down here. We're just waiting. And it's Friday. Gotta remember it's Friday too. Remember, we were looking at the weekly time frame before, and we said Friday, be careful that we don't just dump today and keep that weekly bearish, which is exactly what it's looking like it's trying to do. 15-minute supply zone formed on NASDAQ. Not bad, not bad. Alright, equities reaching new low a day on the weighted index. Meta new low a day, Tesla near new low a day. Nvidia did make a new low a day along with Amazon as well. So remember, before equities were bullish up here, Now equities have flipped, they're turning bearish over here. It's important to know our ranges, it's important to know our equities, and it's important to understand our trend and current market conditions. Talk it out with yourself, listen to somebody else. Talking it out with yourself, guys, will make a huge difference in your trading. I guarantee you. You know, self-talk is huge. It gives you self-reflection. There's the break to the downside of our initial balance. So if we only break one side 70% of the time, we would be looking for us to continue lower today. Anywho's, what's it? Back to what I was saying.
Okay. Now the next edgeful report here is that closing red on the day from the market is about a 70+% chance. So from the open, the 9:30 open on SPY.
Oh, off the 9:30 open?
Yeah, because I'm looking at SPY.
Okay.
Off the 9:30, we have at least a 70% chance that we will close red from the 9:30 open.
Right, which would bring us our 9:30 open is going to be this price right here, 52.8125 on ES. So if we were looking for these stats to line up, we have one breakout to the downside, 70%. We have close red below the open price, which is 77%. So we would then want to see if we could find a short position above that open price and see if we could maybe get that continuation or get that close back red and get that one breakdown to the downside. Now, me currently, if I wasn't going off of any of these statistics, I would be worried that we range bound and would go back higher because we're struggling down here. But because...
There's a 60% chance of
Of
a
meatballs.
25% pullback inside the orb, but only a 40% chance that we do a 50% retrace. So the odds are that, yeah, we will pull back inside the orb as we see that we are doing. I'm looking at excess.
Oh, so what are the odds of a 50% retrace? See, now we're getting interesting, right? Like the odds of a 50% retrace and holding and things like that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so the averages, remember, I'm trying to pick the best number based on the 1 year, the 6 month, the 3 month, and the 1 month.
Yeah.
And the best number here is around 41% chance that we'll go back to 50%. But a 60% chance that we will go at least 25. So the idea here then is that when we hit around 25% pullback, you start looking for a short.
All right, let's see.
I am not showing that SPY broke its orb yet, though.
That's because SPY's lying to you. I'm just kidding.
You said the ES did break it, or the NASDAQ or something?
The ES broke it. The NASDAQ ES didn't break it?
It's that it has to close a 15-minute candle. You have to read it. I mean,
Oh.
even in TPO, it's usually like the 30-minute. They go off 15, which is great, but yeah, that's where they get statistics. 15-minute close.
On Edgeful?
Yeah, or in TPO it's a 30-minute, but in Edgeful it's 15. I like that one more. But it's 15. That's how they coded it. 15-minute close.
That's cool. That's really cool. Thank you for that. I'm looking at ES initial breakout right here. It says
it says like it's based on a 15-minute close.
Wait, let me fix
Does it say
this.
it there anymore? It used to. Let me see.
Hold up. Let me try to. I'll go to report.
Alright, I just posted SPY. Now I'll post the ES.
It says breakdown, yes.
It'll tell you probably in how to use it. So when you're looking at it, it gives you like not advice, but almost directions.
Yep.
Yeah, look at I don't even know if you have to watch it, but like maybe there we go. So you see how the candle closed. So you see
No, it shows the
the can,
wicks. Shows the wicks here.
but it has to close. Where does it say that?
Because look, also the report shows bearish bias right now. It says breakdown, yes. So it did recognize ES broke down today already.
Ask him if he took that out because it used to be in there to give you better stats.
Okay.
It was in there before. I have Edgeful. Maybe I'll look it up and see.
Yeah, that's cool. That's interesting. I wonder if maybe that's something. Yeah, here, there you go. Look, if you go on the left-hand side, customize report, you could do 1 hour by wick or by candle close, and you could do candle
Oh, okay.
time frame.
Yeah, go by candle close and it gives you better stats.
That's
Than
cool.
15 minutes. Yeah. I would do 50. Yeah, 5 is probably good, but yeah, I get different stats. I
Yeah.
think 15 because TPO is 30.
Gotcha. It still says yes for the breakdown, even though we didn't close below it, but I'm pretty sure it's giving these as different results. Like, this is all different, this is all updated, but this stuff still says we had the breakdown. Alright, there's that 50% on the initial balance. YouTube guys, smash that like button. 3 more likes away from 20 likes. Do appreciate the love today. Hope everybody had a phenomenal week. Finally, sort of getting some nicer weather. I don't know about you guys, but sort of getting some nicer weather. This past week has been crap. It's been raining like every day. April showers. Gold finding some rejection, oil still range bound like crazy, and ES still also range bound as well. Marziti, would you send the initial balance on ES and NQ? Oh, so it did show breakdown on both of them.
Hang on, let me pull NQ up for you.
I mean, I'm sorry, I meant ES and SPY. I saw the screenshots you were looking at.
Oh, yeah. I was just posting those.
Gotcha. See, I'd be worried that we're range bound today because, you know, like we said, 70 or 80% of the time we have one side breaks. There still is that 30%, right? And whenever we are range bound is usually when we have those times that stop people out because it's hitting those 30%, those weird stats that haven't hit the norm. So be careful with this. It's a much tighter range too. Let's see, yesterday we had our initial balance right here. And we broke it. We tried to hold, and then we broke with some strength. Today, we wicked it for a second and stayed range bound. So we could also, if we wanted to, wait till we break it again and look to continue lower, look for a short. That would also safeguard you from grabbing a short right now and trying to chase the market. Yo, you guys know what's crazy? So Wednesday, I had the Futures Fever episode right at 11:30, and I said during the episode, so from 11:30 to 12 on Wednesday, I'm going to show you guys why it's crazy. Let's go to our replay. So Wednesday, you know, when a certain somebody announced a pause on tariffs. So from 11:30 over here, 11:30 to 12, this area, I said to Peter Tuchman, Einstein and Wall Street, I said, Peter, there's got to be some relief soon. Something's got to happen in the market. We got to have some type of pullback or something. What happened 2 hours later? Boom, market had the relief, a short squeeze like crazy. We had that 90-day pause on the tariffs, huge bull run. But I found it crazy that I said that an hour or two before that happened. And now obviously the market said, well, time to take back all of those gains. See if we make our way back lower. See if I can pull the clip up. Oh, you know what? I think I know where it would be. Yeah, here it is. Peter, how are you handling these markets? And obviously, you know, we are going to need some type of relief at some point with these tariffs. Do you think we're going to strike a deal? He's now claiming that these countries are calling him and kissing his butt, saying that we'll make these trade deals. It's all just talk until something happens. So it's all just talk till something
Something
happens.
will happen because the alternative is basically we're on bread lines. And then we know that's not going to happen. So this is all about posturing. It's all about ego. But at the end of the day, all we want to know is how can we come in the morning, get involved in some trades, make a little bit of money. By definition, a day trader is somebody who makes small bits of money every hour, every day, every week, every month. So we're green at the end of the week and the month. That's the bottom line here. Just so everybody knows, we're actually on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. Right? This is where Jim.
So that was
Cramer
pretty
has his
cool.
shop.
I found that interesting. Always good to be on top of things, right? It's important to be aware of whenever I say, you know, when in doubt, zoom out on the chart, you know, look at a higher time frame, yes, but zoom out on the economy, on what's going on in the world right now, on the US, because we're trading the ES and NQ, and I do know some people in here aren't from the US. Be aware of what's going on in the U.S. economy. Be aware of, you know, when Trump does maybe tweet something a little volatile. There is a Twitter I follow. Now, this is completely free to get good notifications. It's like Fast Stock Market News, FSMN. And I put on the notifications to that. That way, whenever Trump tweets something that has the slightest bit of importance, that person also will either retweet it, or dumb it down into a quicker version to understand what's going on. And having some type of economic news data or information or outlet like that gets you quick news and information that's like on the spot is very important in uncertain markets like this, because anything could be said at any point and this market could flip like that. And that's why we gotta wait. Look at this nice ES pullback here, guys. Telling you that 30% time we get a double break, it's gonna be today. Let's see. Gold chopping, oil chopping. Alright, let's see, guys. We're up to VWAP now. Again, very range-bound price action. As I mentioned a few times today, without us breaking to the downside, we're holding with strength above demand. We have very poor price action. We're in a very poor range in the market. We shouldn't really be looking to take any trades at this time. Equities also look to be turning around, but now if we're looking at equities, I see Microsoft's a little weak. I see Nvidia's trying to push strong. Tesla's weak. Amazon's a little weak. Things are a little more 50-50 on the equity side. If equities were more strong and pumping and above VWAP and looking good, then great, that's one thing, but that's not the case right now. Finding some strength in equities right here. You can see that on the weighted index in the bottom right chart. There we go. Just had a little strength in equities. We're getting a little follow through right there. But let's see, guys. Gotta be careful. Because right now the market's saying, alright, anybody looking to go short, we're going to stop hunting you. Anybody looking to go long, we're going to stop hunting you. So there's no consistent real trend right here. We have to wait. Yes, might really be looking for that break. That double break on that initial balance. By wick.
Well, the pullback has gone further than it's supposed to statistically.
What are those? Matt, what's going on, Matt? What are those lines on the candlesticks orbs? Yes, so right now we have the purple levels. This is the orb, so 930 low, and then this is the 940. Oh, actually, I gotta move the 945 high up a little bit. Oh, no, I was right. 940 high, because it's the 940 closes 945. So that's our orb on the NASDAQ. And then I have the blue level is a key level. This red level, I have it mapped out. So this was look for break, take profit, 18529. So what I was looking for the other day was a quick scalp for us to break this price level and target the next level, right? So that's sort of how I use these key levels lately, especially in this choppy range-bound market. This blue zone up here, if we're on the 15-minute time frame, we see it sort of marks out as a supply zone. So we can mark that out. And something else I could look for now is if we break this zone. So again, guys, if we don't break it, we stay range bound, no trades. If we do break it, we have our trend and direction. Same with the ES. If we could break higher and continue off of this 30-minute to the upside, then great, we have some direction, we might be able to continue higher. Without breaking these highs, without breaking these lows, we're going to have a hard time trading. We're going to be range bound. We're going to have to wait. Marziti, that's funny, man. No, I'm in a put. Gold range bound, oil same deal, range bound price action right now.
Booyah.
Take some scalps on this.
Yeah, I was waiting for that level.
Nice. Oh, there you go. Oh, look at that. Is this your real account? Killing another real account right now?
Yeah, that's it though. The only reason I took it is I had levels marked out, and when it hit it, I got an alarm. I'm like, I gotta do it.
I gotta do it.
You gotta.
Dude, you get the alarm, you kick yourself if you don't.
This was gonna be like an area, at least on scalp, where it was gonna gyrate, and it's just the scalps for me in those little areas are easier.
Right. Nice, man. Good work. Good trades today, dude. Good trades lately. You've been killing it. Killing these markets. These are hard markets to trade for some people. So fantastic job adapting your strategy and your system to the market conditions.
It was that, so I had the alarm on that, so you could see when it came into that area, that high area.
Nice. Yeah, look at that. Sweet. 400 range. Nice. Very good, dude.
Yeah, you have to like move it up because it's printing so much. Range candles don't care. It's just like what range are you in?
Right.
Right now we're doing basically 100-point moves. So as it came into that area, I just felt confident near the midline of it to start, speculating.
Yeah.
Did you ever do anything that talked about the range candles and how they're used? Maybe go back and watch.
I don't have any videos, any recordings on how to use range candles. I do have to get into it. I don't know them as well as Random does, so over time, you know, watching his, looking at his screenshots and covering everything he covers too, I'll get some videos going for it. And I don't want to keep bothering Random. I feel bad. I feel like every other week somebody's asking him to explain range candles. So I'll definitely try to work on a video that explains. I'll maybe work on 2 videos. What are range candles and how to trade range candles.
Yeah, yeah. Nobody has videos out there on that.
Look at this rejection off of supply on NASDAQ here, guys. Right off of that 18,529 level.
Hit see 387 if it plays out.
Where you want to see 387?
Yeah, I mean I don't care, but like just level to level is 387.
Yeah.
Level to level, yeah.
Yeah, no, I see. Yeah, I see 404, like 400 key cycle level is a good target too. And we're still talking like 60 points away. Good moves on here. Good moves. Big seller. There we go. Look at those equities pulling back. Remember, guys, I said range bound. If we're going to stay range bound, then guess what? These buyers are going to fail at some point. And guess what? When we look like we're going bearish, this is going to sell off. The next candle might even push lower. And then we might go back higher again, right? Because when we're range bound, there's very little to no continuation in either direction.
Worst part is those short and tops there for 5 points.
Gotta be careful taking any shorts near these breaks lower too, guys, because of the volatility we have in the spread, right? You could try to take a short on NQ down here, get filled short below 450, and it could wick right back to 475 in a matter of 5 seconds. So definitely got to be careful on the stop losses. Understand that the volatility is in, and you just got to maybe go to a micro or something. Let's see. Gold still chopping, same with oil. Glad we kept out of those today. Hope everybody's doing well. What's up, Nicole? I see you in here. Hope you're doing well. Mushmouth Preacher, what's up, Preacher? Haven't spoken to you in a little while. Hope you're doing well too. Writing Cat, what's going on? Hope everybody is doing well today. Happy Friday. Hope you guys are ready for a good weekend and have some plans, or if you plan on relaxing and staying in, that's a good plan too. Guys, don't forget, show some love. Go follow me on Instagram, kevin.futures. I like to post a lot of different like market news, market economic news, sometimes some trading tips and tricks and stuff like that. And I just try to stay on top of any like really high important articles, and I break it down within 30 seconds. Real quick 30-second clips going over, you know, did Trump raise tariffs here? Did he get rid of tariffs there? What's going on? Did we get our PPI data? How did Michigan consumer sentiment? Like, we had Michigan consumer today, so I'll probably make a short video on how that came in today versus how it was last month, and where markets are sort of looking in terms of the Michigan consumer and how the economic system is moving in relation to the Michigan consumer sentiment. So make sure you go follow kevin.futures, drop some likes, some comments. You already know. you already know. Ladies and gentlemen, any last questions, you guys let me know. I'm gonna wrap up the stream in just a minute here. Alright guys, have a fantastic day, have a great weekend. If you're in any trades, make sure you manage them properly. Don't try to give back any. If you are in green and you hit your daily goal, make sure to stop trading. Do not overtrade and play with quote unquote, oh, I'm just trading with profits, I'm not losing any, it's house money. That is a poor mindset to have. You're gonna end up giving back way more than you end up taking home. Gotta dump it, you hit your daily goal, you gotta be so happy with yourself and move on. And go enjoy your day. The best part about trading is if you could do it for a day or two, if you could do it for an hour or two, you have the rest of the day to take care of whatever you have to take care of. Alright guys, have a fantastic day, happy trading, happy Friday, and have a great weekend.
Thank you, Kevin. Have a good weekend.
You got it, later. YouTube, you guys are about to see the cat. He's jumping in front of the screen. Alright, later guys. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. I will see you guys on Monday. We do the live streams on YouTube on Monday and Fridays as well. But we go live for our community Monday through Friday. Alright, take care everybody. Follow me on Instagram, Kevin_Futures. Take care and happy trading.